Welcome to the stream, people. Yes, it is a Sunday, Socialist Sunday. I know it's difficult to keep up with which day of the week it is this time of year, but I assure you, it's a Sunday. And a very happy Socialist Sunday to you all. Welcome to the stream. I'm your humble host, Lefty. Thanks for joining us this evening. Humble and much more composed this evening. JK first in the chat there. Nice to see a guitar guy as well. Lurking whilst working, but you've hit the thumbs up button. That's a solid idea there, guitar guy. I'd encourage everybody else watching to do the same. Yes, please do help support the channel. Hit the thumbs up button. Doc Davies as well. JK, I would have loved to have had another option. Unfortunately, limited to 4. It's a difficult choice, isn't it? But you'd like to go for all of the above. Yes, please do fill out the poll as you enter the stream as well. Vote for your Zero of the Year. This is in the very first My Left Eye Awards 2025. And along with Hero of the Year, upon which voting will commence tomorrow. This is one of the 2 awards which is voted by you, good viewers of the channel. So this is one of 3 polls that are out at the moment. We've got one on Twitter, another one in YouTube, that is YouTube posts, and also here on the stream this evening, so it'll be an average of the 3 different polls to decide. Hero of the Year voting will commence tomorrow, as I said, but for now it looks as though Benjamin Netanyahu has a clear lead in this one in the very early stages of the stream. Keir Starmer in second place with 20. Yeah, I've definitely got 3 of the candidates for Hero of the Year down. It's very difficult to decide. A year's a long time. A lot can happen in politics. But I do have 3 out of the 4 candidates for Hero of the Year. Where Zero of the Year is concerned, I should just quickly point out, that might remind people later, I did want to add Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor onto the list. It was a tough call, but I think it's still a difficult choice between those. They're all definitely zeros, but for you, who is the Zero of the Year, keep your votes coming in. More on the poll later on in the stream. And I did say just earlier, did perhaps lose composure a couple of times on the last stream, but for good. Well, not for good reasons, but I'm sure you can understand why. The tribute stream to friend of the channel, Vicky, who unfortunately died this week. But I just would like to thank you once again for all of your donations, all of the super chats, super thanks, etc. That came in on the stream. I went to a very good cause, and I personally handed a card with all of the donations to Vicky's husband yesterday. I did mention in the card as well that some of the donations had come from you, good viewers, so thanks once again for that. Really can't thank you enough for all of those contributions. What a great audience we have here on the channel, and giving so generously at this time of year as well. Give yourselves another pat on the back. Edward Sexby is now with us in the chat. Nice to see you. Good evening. Thank you for those sentiments as well, yeah. She was a tremendous campaigner as well. As well as a fellow subscriber to the channel. Okay, we're going to hear that tune again, I think, which gives me an opportunity to thank Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics, the Sunday live stream background music jazz quartet. Infamous. Thanks also to the members on the channel. As I just mentioned, a lot of those donations coming in the form of gifted memberships. You might have noticed that we've jumped up to 164 now, and they would have kept coming as well. Unfortunately, the dreaded membership rebound, if you want to put it that way, bounce back, came into effect yet again. Meaning, unfortunately, some people weren't able to gift as many memberships. We could have been nearly on 190 if that hadn't happened, but 164 is certainly the highest we've ever been. Thank you once again, everybody. And other ways you might want to help contribute towards the channel: thumbs up button, as I've just mentioned, give us a share on your social media. Why not open a tab right now if you're on Twitter, Blue Sky or Mastodon. Go to @MyLeftEye or @MyLeftEyeUK, depending on which platform. But do give us a follow. We'll follow back all like-minded socialists. Solidarity, everybody. Super chats also open on this stream if you're watching live. Super thanks if you're watching back later on. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee page as well, if you want to check that out in the description of the stream, or any other content on the channel. Thank you again, everybody, for all your contributions. 164, as you can see, I'll just put that back up. Awesome stuff.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
It feels bad voting for Bibi in the poll. Well, you know, it's for 0 of the year, remember that. Starman second as well. Yeah, for some reason, I won't check right now, but I think there had only been 1 or 2 votes on the Twitter poll. This is the same question that's been put out on Twitter, but there've been a lot of responses on the YouTube posts, so thank you very much for all those. It's a bit of a closer affair than we currently have on this poll, I should say, the one in the polls. 86% now for Netanyahu. Keith's on 14.
Oh, God.
Be back with the poll a bit later on. We'll be over to the Fondue Lounge, as we do every Sunday in just a moment. That's Keith's Fondue Lounge, by the way, people. Anyone who's not familiar. Oh, yes. I do say gate crashing, but you'd think at this point it would come to be expected, seeing as we've probably gate crashed at least the last 60 fondue parties that Keith's had. but we'll pretend it's a surprise once more. Yes, surprise, surprise. The Socialists are here.
Socialists.
Oh my God.
Right, I think I've done all of the thanks and self-promotion and whatnot. Let's get into the lounge now. Thank you very much, Herbie and the gang. We'll be back with some more jazz in a moment. I guess you could call this... Well, what could you call this? Jolly fondue banjo music, if you... That's not a category, it is now. Here we are once again in the lounge. Perhaps Keith himself not going to feature in tonight's live stream so much as his pal Peter there, as you can see over his right shoulder as we look. Preparing some cocktails there. Nefariously preparing, of course. Just everything he does is nefarious, as he nefariously puts on his shoes every morning and nefariously gets into a vehicle, probably chauffeur driven. But of course we will be talking about the Epstein files, which isn't good news for Mandy, as well as others such as Trump. Israel have been brought into this, as well as the aforementioned former, gives me great pleasure to say, former Prince Andrew, Mr. Mountbatten Windsor. I did put a video out about the Epstein files earlier on as well. That was something I forgot to mention in the self-promotion earlier. I knew there was something, but please do check that out. I'm going to be going into some of those details this evening, as well as something, well, not exclusive, but something that very, very few people will have seen. Some of these files were released, and in a panic, some were then sort of missing from the platforms that they were released upon. But some very quick-minded people thought to document what was released in time before they were removed. So I've got some something for you to look at, which is, I don't know. It's not graphic, but it's quite disturbing, and it just goes to sum up this whole sordid affair. But yeah, there are a million files now pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein. We'll be going over some of the details of that. Just one moment, people. Okay, I think it's alright. I thought we had some buffering there. Everybody okay? Yeah, so it just gets worse and worse. It's revolting. What can you say? Also, the latest on Gaza as well, of course. Everything okay at your end? Good, good to know. Just had the old circle here on the YouTube studio. All right, Keith. That'll be it for now. We'll have another helping of fondue later in the stream. We'll get on to matters. Once we've got the music, let's hear that again, Herbie. There we are. Oh, I don't want to say I'm Epsteined out, but obviously in putting that video together, some disturbing revelations have already been released before these other million, you can't, unbelievable. Most people watching this probably don't have 1 million files on their devices total, let alone pertaining to one individual. But here we are, that's got to be something to sift through. I certainly don't envy those at the Bureau or wherever, and the journalists and whatnot who'll have to do that when it's drip fed to them. I'm certainly not looking forward to what's coming, but it is going to be the truth. And one of our regular viewers as well pointed out in the comments, you know, that this sort of thing, it's unbelievable that it was allowed to happen in the first place. This was decades ago. We're talking about accusations going back as far as the 1980s, aren't we? Early 90s and then into the 2000s. But wow, just how they got away with it at the time, how we're only just hearing about these things at the moment as well, and absolutely it cannot happen again. Absolutely not. Nothing even closely resembling this, because when you're looking at the types of people who are accused, yeah, it's a very small maze. Let's have something more light-hearted first though, people, before we go into this quagmire of sleaze and God knows what else. I do have another great video from Michael Spicer, who's got one about the Liz Truss show, I should say. Have put out some previous content about what I think, or we at My Left I think, about Liz's new YouTube channel. But this is another great one from Michael Spicer. There's a link in the description as well for his channel and the video. I would encourage you to go and subscribe and check out more of his content. So let's see this one. It's kind of a room next door one again, but this time with the Liz Truss show, which is the worst thing on YouTube. Despite however many technical meltdowns might occasionally happen on this channel, we're still way in front of Liz Truss as far as quality goes. It's absolute shite.
Okay, let's get this over and done with. 3, 2, 1, cue Maniac.
Welcome to the first ever edition of the Liz Truss Show. You'd have to be watching the fake news BBC or living on Elon Musk's Mars mission to not know that Britain is going to hell in a handcart.
Dear God, you really do need a speechwriter. Or just a writer. Or a crow with a Sharpie in its mouth. Anything at this point.
People are having to pull their own teeth out because they can't get a dentist.
It's nice of you to recreate the sensation of that with this show.
We've been importing Islamists who want to destroy our country.
Who, exactly?
From imposing Sharia law...
When? When did that
to
happen?
orchestrating terror attacks.
Wow, you really are being, like, racist here. Is there any chance we could tone this down just for the first episode?
Gangs of Pakistani heritage criminals
Right, maybe not.
have carried out unspeakable sex crimes against young girls for decades.
Yeah, so have gangs of white men. I don't know if that's reported in the Hitler Herald or whatever it is you read these days.
No one can be deported, thanks to the web of human rights law.
Damn those laws that say humans have to be treated like humans. What were they thinking?
People are in despair.
Doubly so if they're watching this shit.
But they're not even allowed to talk about it.
You're talking about it right now, you sleeveless dimwit.
If you speak out against the Islamists or the transgender ideologues,
Xenophobia, Islamophobia, transphobia. Is this an opening monologue or is it just a thicko Nazi bingo card?
in the famous sitcom Yes Minister, it used to be the case that civil servant Sir Humphrey was occasionally got the better of by Prime Minister Jim Hackett. In modern Yes Minister, the bureaucrats hold all the cards, and Sir Humphrey is now a radicalised trans activist.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When the BBC are not busy lying about Donald Trump,
Oh, of course, this whole thing is just a charade to crawl up his orthopaedic stockings, isn't it?
I'd rather my licence fee money went to Trump media than Trotskyite media.
Absolutely, one can only imagine how many BBC viewers have been indoctrinated this year by high-profile Marxists like Claudia Winkleman and Wallace and Gromit.
This show is going to lift the lid on what is going on.
We know what's going on. You think that 6 months of Oswald Mosley cosplay is going to get you an invite to Donald Trump's Palm Beach piss palace, as if he's got any time or respect for someone who essentially looks like they should be selling cut-price gemstone bracelets on QVC.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, that could be about 4 people. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
welcome to the home of the counter-revolution.
I think you mean welcome to the badly lit home of someone who looks like they have a glass cabinet of racist figurines just off camera.
Welcome to the Liz Truss Show.
And cut. That was great, Liz. Very good, very powerful. Now I'm just going to change the title of this video to Cat Gets Spooked by Cucumber, just so that we get some views.
Excellent from Michael Spicer. Yeah. It's impossible to understate the quality of the Liz Truss show. Very well put there. Did actually do the whole thing during the live stream, if anybody wants to check out my real-time reaction to that. Quite traumatic. But the subjective trauma therapist has been moderately good since I was subjected to that. Yeah, good point there in the chat, JK. Department of Justice, well, I did point this out in the video. First of all, they said there weren't any files, and apart from this 1 million. Oh, look. How do you know? 1 million. A million. And this isn't just like, you know, digitised sort of a pen drive going missing with physical documents and things like this. We're talking about a lot of these incidents and events taking place before or around the start of the internet boom. So physical things like postcards, as well as later on developing into emails and things, as well as pictures, that is physical pictures from the pre-digital era as well. So these have to be obviously physically stored in some sort of physical container. And people lied, didn't they? They lied to Congress. The likes of Pam Bondi, and covering for Donald Trump, trying to cover for Donald Trump. But even someone with as much space between her ears as Pam Bondi should have realised that that was only delaying the inevitable. And now, as the whole thing comes down, she's likely to come down with it. Nice move, Pam. So that will be bringing us on to Trump just after we take a look at Zach Polanski's festive message, which he actually got a bit of stick for posting this at the same time as the King's speech. I'm pretty sure most of the viewers on this channel weren't rushing to catch that one. However, it was in the news. They always do the Christmas ratings, don't they? They mention the Christmas Day ratings. Unfortunately, it turned out that the King's speech was the most watched. But there's always a few alternative messages floating around. and we're going to take a look at Zach's. Because I haven't seen this all the way through, to be honest, myself. Let's see what all the fuss is about. But yeah, how dare you? How dare you upload this at the same time as the Sovereign? And as we mentioned on social media, these are the sort of people who will tell you that you live in a free country, even though the sort of establishment will immediately jump upon anybody who does not watch what is apparently mandatory viewing of the King's speech. Ridiculous. Such rank hypocrisy, what can you say, people? Yeah, you have to suck up to the rich man who's talking to you from one of his residences, which may or may not be, you know, completely decorated with gold, but finery guaranteed, nonetheless. So,
oh, isn't it awful? Isn't it sad that there's poverty in the world?
While he's, you know, about to go off and have more fine dining, fine whining, entourages, properties, the lot, rank hypocrisy yet again. But this is what we're supposed to look up to, is it? But let's hear a proper message from Zach Polanski, who, well, I'll exclusively reveal. You get all the best inside info here on the streams, people. No, he's going to be one of the nominees in the Hero of the Year poll, which will be coming out tomorrow. Alright, take it away, Zach Polanski.
I'm on the ferry coming back from Calais. About 50 of these journeys happen every single day. Waved my passport and through I went. I'm really aware, though, I've spent the last few days with lots of people who do not have that privilege. And they're trying to make this crossing because they literally have no other choice. The images and video you're about to see won't center the voices of the people who I've met, and that's for deliberate reason, to preserve their dignity. But I do want you to see some of what I've witnessed over the last few days through my eyes. I'm telling this story on Christmas Day for a reason. So often I ask you to like and share videos, and I appreciate that. But
one thing I like about this already, the setting, and he's on the ferry, and he's been out there, actually looking at these people, these poor disadvantaged people, who want to travel to this country from Calais, for example. But he's not doing the typical, you know, in front of the fireplace with the leather-backed chair, with the, you know, the long-backed leather chair, and all of the other the huge tree in the background, and isn't it so cozy and nice with the fucking, you know, the jumper on and all the rest of it, whatever. The fucking cat on the lap, and all of that phony stuff. This is as real as it gets, and you won't see another. Even in the alternative messages, you know, a lot of them have the sort of homely setting, but Zach Polanski wants to give it to people raw, if you want to put it like that. All of the cold, harsh details, and himself actually going to do this, because Dover's a long way from Manchester, I'll remind you people, hundreds of miles. So at this time of year, that's, I think, a particularly bold and noble endeavour, which is the very first thing that I'm taking from this. Let's see some more.
Christmas Day is a day when most people, not everyone, are around other people. So gather around, because there's a story you need to hear about what's happening in Calais. And it's the complete opposite to the misinformation and lies we are fed every single day. People will often say that France is a safe country, and sure, if you're a British citizen going on holiday to Nice, I'm sure it's lovely. Calais is not a safe place. Some of the things I've seen over the last few days will stick with me for a long time. I want to talk to you about wood. People need wood when they're sleeping outside. They need to burn it for heat and make sure that they're drying their clothes in waterlogged conditions. But there isn't enough wood in Calais, and so volunteers spend hours and hours sourcing pallets, chopping them up, and then distributing to the people who are in need. But then you have the police who come along every 48 hours without warning. They slash people's tents, they evict people from the sites, and they take their wood. The people watch, they stand aside for 10, 15 minutes, and then they return to the same site.
All they want to do is keep themselves warm. Yeah, it's not the most environmentally friendly way of protecting yourself from the elements, but these poor people don't really have any choice. The police could just leave them to it, and they're not disturbing anybody, they're not a threat to anybody. And yet here they come, and it's, yeah. The lack of humanity is shocking. I'm almost speechless.
This time, though, it's even more decimated, and again, there is no wood. They spend their time rebuilding, looking for more wood. They eventually get it, and the police come round again. It is a farcical, deadly cycle that everyone is involved with, and we're funding it. The UK government is giving £476 million over a 3-year deal for the militarisation and securitisation of Calais. We should be diverting that money to a humanitarian and compassionate response.
£500 million. £500 million. Stick that up your black hole, Rachel Reeves. Yeah. £500 million. Yeah, oh no, we've got to make the tough choices back at home. Oh no, look what we inherited. We've got a £22 billion black hole. Shouts of ACAB there in the chat from Edward Sexby. Well, where these are concerned, it's difficult to argue with that. Morbius is with us in the chat also. Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Make it a stir fry, but listen at the same time.
Because the rhetoric we hear about stopping the boats and smashing the gangs, none of this is working. In fact, there's evidence that this whole performative cruelty is actually pushing up the price of boat crossings.
Yeah, it's counterproductive, as he points out there. And, you know, a lot of these people have given everything that they've got to be able to try and make this voyage, literally all the money that they have, everything that they own. However, they manage to get a chance at passage. And it's life or death for a lot of these people. And unfortunately, there are people who will exploit that. And that's what happens when you cut off the legal routes. That is what happens when people are forced to come into the country this way. All the legal routes have been closed. They don't come by plane. And they're, well, they all come in the boats. You know, the people who can't join the dots. What else do you expect? It's a societal inevitability. But heaven forfend that this Labour government would learn from history.
And we know that the boat crossings are rising. People told me over and over again, we cannot stay in Calais and we're not allowed to leave. So why did I ask you to gather around and to hear this? Because this has to stop. The constant political rhetoric and demonization of people who are just trying to survive in unimaginable living conditions. I don't believe that we're the country that the media paint us to be. I don't believe that we're cruel and we're heartless. And I don't believe if people saw what I've seen over the last few days, they would turn away. I realise some of this can be an unusual Christmas Day message, but actually at the heart of all of it is compassion, kindness, and humanity. And whether you're religious or not, I think that's something we can all do more of. in 2026.
Yeah, you didn't see... I mean, he was literally down there on the beach, helping them out, clearing things up. Like, right there in the thick of it, you didn't see... I nearly said Prince. You didn't see King Charles doing anything close to that, did you? From, is it Sandringham? Or Balmoral, whichever one it is. Where he broadcasts the hollow, vacuous, hypocritical speech from.
Really want to give a shout out to Calais Appeal and all the volunteers and staff who do incredible work. You will see the crowdfunder attached to this video. Whatever you're doing today, Merry Christmas.
And then he launches a crowdfunder as well. He's just, the king's never like, you know,
Launched a crowdfunder. And personally donated £10 million.
no, never. Just a few seconds left here. Let's see what this... Well, that's a fine sentiment to finish with. Yeah, well done, Zach. Well done, Zach Polanski. Good message there. Yeah, very good, that.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Let's see what's happening in this here poll. One of 3 that we have out at the moment. That is the same question on 3 different platforms. And as more votes have come in, it's gotten slightly more of an even affair, but there is still a clear leader with Netanyahu on 57%, but all other 3 candidates now on 14%, or nominees. Yes, I think nominees is a better description, as it's an award ceremony. Oh, it's going to be all hanky swanky, you know. Very, very posh award ceremony. Yes, we spared no expense here at My Left Eye. That's going to be coming up in a couple of days. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content on the channel. Make sure you've hit thumbs up on this stream as well, people. Would much appreciate that. One of the other nominees is, of course, Donald Trump. And that's going to bring us on to the Epstein files. Sick bags at the ready, people. This is, what can you say? Oh, just before we do get on to this, apologies. I did want to quickly mention, whilst we're on Zach Polanski and the Greens, it was announced, I think, yesterday, the day before, but Gary Lineker has joined the Green Party. No other than former England striker, one of England's highest ever goal scorers. Yeah, so that's going to get the hackles up the gammons, I should expect. Let me know what you think about that latest addition to the Green Party in the chats and in the comments if you're watching back later on. I'm quite happy with this, I have to say. He obviously left Match of the Day for being outspoken on issues such as Gaza. Was brought into this whole, you know, you can't say what you think on social media, Mr. Famous Person. All of that, and now here we are. So I think that'll be certainly a useful member of the Greens. Is he going to be out canvassing in Leicester? Maybe. Imagine that. Knock on the door in the East Midlands of England. It's Gary Lineker. Here he is, holding Green Party campaign material. He wants your votes, yes. Gary Lineker of football and crisps fame. We trust we can rely on your vote in the upcoming election. Well, we'll see. Gaza is in the Paul Gascoigne's, is he? No. You're pulling my leg there, guitar guy, surely. You jest. Paul Gascoigne's not in the Green Party, is he? Is he? No? Guitar guy says yes.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Oh, Gaza's your name for Gary, right, not Paul Gascoigne. Confusion there. Of course, they both played around the same time, didn't they? As far, I mean, the closest thing you can I can think of concerning Paul Gaza Gascoigne's political leanings, if you want to even put it that way, he was what was he called? There was a it was ages ago, but I don't know if you've ever heard about it. Basically, a serial killer was on the loose. Raoul Mort, that's the guy. Raoul Mort was on the loose, and Paul Gascoigne took it upon himself to dispatch himself to the scene of the incident as he was surrounded by police. That is, the assailants. Raoul Mort was surrounded by police, and along came Paul Gascoigne with, I think, some beer and some fried chicken, if memory serves. A bucket of fried chicken from a famous fried chicken outlet. In order to try and talk him into well, stopping shooting a load of people and handing himself over. Pretty brave, you gotta say. When was that? Does anybody know exactly what year that took part? Remember hearing about that. We've gone slightly astray from the topic. Nothing wrong with that, though. I do like a good bit of banter here on the streams. But now maybe Lineker can get Paul Gascoigne on board, maybe some other footballers from the same era. Paul Barnes. God. Peter Shilton. Is Gary a radicalised former centrist dad? Could be. Not, I wouldn't say radicalised, though. I think Polanski's going more or less hardline democratic socialist, which has upset a few in, you know, what was the traditional Green Party, which you do have to admit would have been somewhat made up of liberals, but of course that came with its limitations. Gaza played for Rangers, did he? And he used to taunt Celtic fans. Right. For anybody who's not familiar with that story how that football rivalry relates to politics. It's a Catholic Protestant thing within Scottish football fanry, if you want to put it that way. But yes, I wasn't aware of that actually. Thanks for pointing that out, Edward Saxby. There you go. Celtic are also famous for supporting Gaza. Everybody knows. I think Celtic are the Catholics, Rangers are the Protestants. Yes, I've got that the right way around. You have to be very careful. So that just explains that one. Good point there as well, Mo. Perhaps his attendance at Green Party meetings will be disruptive, although I have to say, all I can remember hearing about him in the news recently is bouts of illness, recovery, illness and whatnot, unfortunately, so not quite up to the same lively antics he used to be, but we'll leave that one there for now and move on to the actual topic. Once again, Herbie, thank you. So, from someone famous for wearing comedy plastic tits to an actual tit itself in the form of Donald J. Trump. And the Epstein files. Let's see what's happening, people. As we've already sort of mentioned, well, this could be anybody. I did announce him, but could be anybody. Yeah. First of all, heavily redacted files were air quotes released, a small percentage of the total that we knew of then, which was thought to be in the tens of thousands, I think, just marginally over 10, 11,000. More of those have been released. We're going to be going over that, but now further news, of course, that more of these have been released, a lot more, not just hundreds, but thousands and thousands and thousands and lots and lots and loads 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 of files, 1 million of them in total, to be exact, people. I will take a look at some of those in a moment, as well as other people who've been indicated in these files. But first of all, the Dropkick Murphys. Does anybody know of the Dropkick Murphys, Irish band? And they were very quick to point out their indifference to the news of the release of these files during a live performance, which happened last weekend, I think. So take a look at this, people, if you haven't seen it yet, and it's far from subtle. Right across the background of this festival performance. I'll just first class loser is the chorus, but just to show you what they brought up on the screen. Yeah, so this is someone who, well, Trump claims to have hardly known Epstein. Then, of course, later on it was, oh, everybody knew him, you know, not everybody liked him, and I definitely didn't like him, but of course. First of all, it was that he didn't know him, then hardly knew him. How's about this quote? "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy," he says. "He's a lot of fun to be with." Fucking hell. "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them, fuck me, are on the younger side." Oh, that's awful. Hardly knows him. Doesn't know him. Hardly knows him. Doesn't like him. Doesn't like him. Terrific guy. Don't like him. Don't know him. 15 years. Who? Jeffrey? Oh yeah, we all hate Jeffrey. Who, like, honestly. It just goes to show the hubris and how basically he thinks nobody can get to him. Whenever this quote's from, doesn't matter whether it's during the presidency or around the time of the accusations, but he thinks that he can say things like this, you know, the people who do this unspeakable stuff, that they can essentially gloat about it like he's doing here. Many of them are on the younger side. What the fuck? Well done. The dropkick Murphys there. Yeah, like I said, far from subtle. Well done. Well done. Any Dropkick Murphys fans in the chat? This could be anybody. Yeah, let's take a look at this. I did put this into the video that came out earlier today, which I'm sure all you good people are going to add to your watch list and check that out immediately after the stream. But this clip of an interview with Tucker Carlson, and while I normally wouldn't really adhere to much that Tucker Carlson says, like I point out in the video, these ultra-patriots, as it were, when it comes to foreign interference, they've just about had it with Israel, which has somewhat benefited the anti-Zionist cause, ironically, but it seems that even Israel are linked to these files. Let's see what's happening.
Do you agree with Candace Owens that the reason we are not going to see the client list is because Israel is implicated?
Israel is implicated. I'm just going to say that.
But what would Israel have to do with Epstein?
I mean, the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, lived at Epstein's townhouse for years. I mean, the allegation is that Epstein was...
You getting that? No. Years. Years? It would be quite unusual for a former head of state to live with anybody outside of the family, I guess. After stepping down from office, that's usually what they like to do, as they also come out of the public eye more and the limelight. But no, decides to go and share a townhouse with Epstein for years. And I know this is Tucker Carlson saying this, but what do you make of that, people? For years.
Running a blackmail operation against powerful people where they would be videotaped having sex outside of marriage or illegally with underage women. And that...
Tucker, now prepared to listen to your points on these accusations. However, just a slight correction. There's no such thing as an underage woman. That is what is actually correctly known as a girl. Okay, there's underage women. There's no such thing. Just pointing that out. That's something that a lot of the mainstream media tend to miss as well. Let's use the right terminology. Let's not try and sugarcoat what it is, because that is what it is. The kids, okay? Don't try and water it down.
Information will be used against them to get them to comply with whatever request that government wanted them to comply with. I think it's absolutely fair to ask, to what extent was Epstein involved in a foreign intelligence operation on our soil? This is our country. This country doesn't belong to any foreign country.
Yeah, so what is this? So we're talking about, this is, I'll just quickly summarise as best as I can, for anyone who doesn't know, essentially that they invite / lure these celebrities, politicians, people of influence to the island, basically get them to have sex with young women and girls who are trafficked in there, many of them against their own will, to have some unspeakably revolting things done to them, which are documented, filmed, recorded in various manners and means. And then that is used to extort and blackmail these people for whatever the Epsteins, who might be also, it's alleged, where Epstein's concerned, associated with Mossad and other organisations, and he's got passports for places like Austria with other names. Is that what's happening? And then all of these people are at the whim of the Epsteins or Israel. Really? Because if that is what's happening, that's one of the sickest things you've ever heard of in human history, people.
Okay, this is our country. I was born here. I pay taxes here. So if some foreign country, I don't care if you claim it's our ally or not, is running an intel operation on my soil, I have a right to know what that was.
Yeah, well, don't subscribe to Tucker Carlson, but that's what's set him off. It's the whole patriotism thing for Carlson, as you heard at the end there. Just one moment. Music. Yeah, I'm not sure if he says in the full interview how he knows if this or if this has come out in the files itself. But that's a bombshell. That's a bombshell revelation if it is. And most of the talk, yeah, surrounded Trump and Mountbatten, Windsor and Mandy, whose full name I cannot utter here for lack of a sick bag. It will go a lot deeper. A lot of other celebrities' names have come up, musicians, actors, other politicians. Channel 4 did a little piece on this. We'll take a look at that. I did use some small excerpts from this in the video as well. And again, this is before the million files have come out. This is from the relatively small thousands that have come out so far. And even these details will make your stomach turn, people.
They're asking me questions about Jeffrey Epstein. I thought that was finished.
It's the story he can't shake. Donald Trump was here to do what he likes doing, branding something with his name, this time a new class of Navy battleship.
And that's one thing he's trying to distract people with, and he's using these battleships to attack Nigeria for its lithium, Venezuela for its oil. Both under false assumptions, of course, but he can't shake it off. This will not go away. The story will haunt him for the rest of his political career and his life, whichever one comes to a conclusion sooner, bearing in mind as Trump's now in his mid-70s, but also not having the best lifestyle as it is.
But his administration is still under fire over its handling of the Epstein files and his own relationship with the late convicted sex offender.
Everybody was friendly with this guy, either friendly or not friendly, but they were.
Not me. I didn't know him. I didn't know the bastard. Say what you will about that. So it's everybody did. Now it's that everybody does it excuse. So if you're singling me out, this is a witch hunt. Fuck off.
Over Palm Beach and other places. The head of Harvard was his best friend, Larry Summers.
Yeah, why aren't you asking Larry these questions?
But everybody was. I actually threw him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Trump may have cut off relations with Epstein, but that was after years of friendship.
I bet that's...
And in one document among thousands more released today, a note from a New York assistant attorney revealing that Trump travelled on Epstein's private jet many more...
They didn't throw him out of Mar-a-Lago. Of course, Epstein's not around to say anything. I'll respond to any comments that Trump makes at the moment. Ghislaine Maxwell is, but God knows what sort of deals and goings on behind the scenes with her are happening. Of course, her father dying under suspicious circumstances as well, being involved in some particularly nefarious goings on with foreign entities as well.
More times than previously has been reported. He flew at least 8 times on the plane between 1993 and 1996. On one flight there was Epstein, Trump and a 20-year-old, and on 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers were women who would be possible witnesses in the Ghislaine Maxwell case.
Fucking hell. And yeah, where's this plane going? Does it all just happen on the plane, or is that like the, the top gold package to the nonce island? And then they fly him home again.
And then there is this, a letter Epstein allegedly wrote in August 2019 from his jail cell and sent to Larry Nassar, another convicted paedophile. Epstein writes, "Our president also shares our love of young nubile girls. When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch."
Fucking hell. On a postcard as well, like I was talking earlier about how brazenly open this is and the sheer hubris of it all. Is this on a postcard or something? So this is Epstein himself referring to Trump. Shares our love of young nubile girls. Well, he does say girls there, not, young women, or underage women, sorry. And then, what is this? When a young beauty walked by, he loved to grab snatch. Fucking hell. And you remember the thing in his first term, don't you? Where he was bragging about grabbing girls by the pubic region, as it were. And now this on this postcard. That's pretty undeniable.
Love to grab snatch. Today, the Department of Justice said,
"Some of these documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims made against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false."
Another document today revealed a rape allegation against...
There's an audio recording of him saying that he likes to do that particular thing. Have they got amnesia? Is there some sort of collective amnesia going on there? And get this as well, it's not just the Epstein cases, there's another separate case now.
Unfounded and false.
Another document today revealed a rape allegation against Trump submitted to the FBI in October 2020. But the president has never been formally accused of any wrongdoing in relation to Epstein by law enforcement, and he's always denied he knew about Epstein's crimes. One individual who has stood accused, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who lost his royal titles because of his friendship with Epstein. The late Virginia Roberts Giuffre, a confirmed victim of Epstein...
No. I think it's safe to say for being a client of Epstein's at least. Not just for knowing the guy or being friends with the guy. Come on, don't sugarcoat it. This is from a Channel 4 report. You know, they're supposed to be edgier and whatnot.
Accused Andrew of raping her 3 times, something he has always strenuously denied.
Yeah, that's why. That's actually why.
But the new documents reveal that the Department of Justice in 2020 requested assistance from the UK government to compel Andrew to sit for questioning, and that there was information suggesting he had knowledge that Ghislaine Maxwell recruited females to engage in sex acts with Epstein and other men. In the late...
Well, he did. It's all gonna come out, all the dirty laundry now. Gonna be aired in public, isn't it? I think we've only heard, you know, it's the tip of the iceberg. Where Mountbatten Windsor's proclivities are concerned.
Latest documents, emails between Maxwell and someone called the Invisible Man, who signs off...
The Invisible Man. Well, we mentioned this on the last stream, and it's in the video as well. Here from Balmoral. You know, just make sure you use some secret name. I don't want to be found out in the, let's say hypothetically, in the 2020s when some excellent YouTube live streamers going to be reporting about it, so use a secret code.
In August 2001, he writes, "I'm up here at Balmoral summer camp for the royal family." He then...
Off to a very inconspicuous start.
And says, "How's LA? Have you found me some new inappropriate friends?"
Fucking
Maxwell
hell.
replies, "I've only been able to find appropriate friends." The so-called Invisible Man responds, distraught.
Distraught. Distraught. Distraught. And like I said on the last live stream, don't tell me that the, well, now, brother of the king can't get a date if he wants one. But no, he has to try and satisfy these sick urges through people like Maxwell and Epstein. And again, so openly in emails and... God, you know, I really haven't done some nonsing for a while. Have you got any inappropriate friends?
Find appropriate friends. The so-called Invisible Man responds, distraught.
Just say it, come on. It's the so-called Invisible Man. The game's up, Channel 4. Mountbatten Windsor responds.
While Andrew has always denied
Distraught.
any wrongdoing and has not commented on these new documents, the new files provide yet further insight into the actions of...
He's probably sobbing his eyes out onto his bed of fucking messed up, fucked up teddy bears that he can't go and fuck girls on the nonce island. And now he's had his hunting licence taken away, so he can't distract himself by shooting innocent animals either. Fucking hell. Won't somebody think of the former royals?
Epstein and Maxwell. And yet many Democrats in Congress, as well as
Redacted,
victims, have criticised the
redacted, and redacted, and redacted, and redacted, and redacted.
Administration for the drip of files, with one Epstein survivor today calling for resignations and impeachments.
I am no longer supporting this administration. I redact any support I've ever given to him, Pam Bondi, Cash.
As the backed the wrong horse train strolls into town, more carriages being added, people seek to distance themselves from all parties concerned. Oh no, I never liked them anyway. No, you're going to own it. Like all these Republicans, all these MAGA heads, we don't like to have the I told you so plaudits, especially where these disgusting revelations are concerned. But we did try and tell you the sort of people who you were backing, who you were getting behind. So you're going to have to own it. You can go to hell as far as trying to, at this point, you know, proactively distance yourselves from these pieces of shit. No chance. No chance. While you're not actually party to these activities, your reputation should be in the gutter, not as much as Trump and Epstein's and Maxwell's and so on. But still, politically.
Patel, I am so
Own
disgusted
it.
with this administration. I think that Pam Bondi and Kash Patel both need to resign, and I would love to see number 47 get impeached over this.
The Democrats accused the Trump administration of selectively publishing certain material, notably a tranche of photos of Bill Clinton in the initial release of documents. The former president has called for all files relating to him.
So, what was it, an affair with, was it an intern at the White House, which is the big scandal that was during Bill Clinton's presidency? That's going to seem like nothing compared to all of this. That's, you know, going to be but a mere footnote.
To be published, and questioned why that had not yet happened. Trump himself had this to say about one of his predecessors.
I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for.
But Trump knows more people than that.
And a couple of bad... Okay. Just cast your minds a few weeks back to the vote. There was only one person who voted not to release them, of all the Democrats and Republicans. So, a couple, no. More than a couple, Donald, but we don't expect you to count as much as we expect you to be able to tell the truth. Piece of shit.
Are asking for these documents, not just Epstein's victims, but many among his MAGA base, who are now questioning the president's connection to this ongoing scandal.
There are still some trolls who remain on social media, but there's an ongoing mass exodus even within the MAGA camp, as they point out at the end of that report there. What do you think about what you saw there, people? Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you're watching back later on. Let's just have some background music back up. In fact, let's take a look at some of your comments in the chat right now. Yeah, it was pretty much confirmed that Robert Maxwell, that is Ghislaine's late father, was confirmed to have been a Mossad asset. The same's been said for Ghislaine and Epstein alike. It's all connected. And Sarah Ferguson still supports that creep, does she? More. Oh, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Alright people, I would like you just to take a moment to prepare yourselves, as I'm about to lay this one on you for a moment. Of course, if Trump's entirely innocent in all of this, then what's the explanation for certain documents, including pictures, one of which I'm about to share with you? It's not graphic, don't worry, people. I certainly wouldn't even want to look at anything like that, let alone share it with you on a live stream. However, as things were released, some of them immediately went missing from social media for bizarre reasons. But I can bring you this one, which is a picture of Trump on Epstein's jet, as we've just been talking about. I'm bearing in mind that the other people in the pictures aren't relatives, or, you know, there's family, friends on there. Whatever it is, we'd certainly like to know the explanation for this shot. What in the fucking hell is going on there, Donald? This, and I might be slightly sticking my neck out here in showing you this, people, but your humble host here is somewhat of a rebel. It goes without saying. Appalling there. Right, okay. I'll only keep that up very briefly. But what is going on with that? What is going on with that? Sorry, there's only so long I can bring myself to look at that sort of stuff. Yeah, but somebody managed to get a screenshot of that and then proceeded to share that around social media. I'm sure that that's something Donald Trump wouldn't want you to see. Yeah, words fail me as well, Edward. Words fail me. Well, don't even want to think, don't even want to imagine. Another point, yeah, Stanley Kubrick's movie Eyes Wide Shut was just a documentary. I have heard about that one. Isn't that about like the sort of, it's the secret societies and what some people still refer to now as the Illuminati, which isn't a thing anymore, and, you know, there's loads of conspiracy videos on YouTube that mention the Illuminati, I'm sure, but some sort of secret society. Just a reminder there, people. Yeah, the Illuminati doesn't exist as it's purported to be. But we're talking, you know, what's he called? Alex Jones. Those sort of people. Although there are obviously agreements throughout the establishment and high society, just not under the name Illuminati. Whatever's going on, yeah, turns out that it could have been a documentary. Stanley Kubrick. We'll move on to another subject now. Because I don't know about you, but I'm just going to congratulate myself for managing to get through that segment without dry retching all over the place. If I'm perfectly honest. With just one moment, people, I'm going to recharge my glass. I hath returned, people, with a reminder to vote in the poll if you haven't done already, since we started things on the stream. Netanyahu currently still in the lead, but please do vote in the poll. Make sure you've hit thumbs up on the stream as well, and give us a share around your social media if you would, please, good people, this Socialist Sunday. Show some solidarity. I would be happy to follow you back on social media, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon. Yeah, Illuminati just means enlightened, as in illuminated. Illuminati. There's more than a single group self-named as Illuminati. Of course, if they were secret societies, then we wouldn't know the name, would we? No, but if you look on the back of a dollar bill, right, and look at the triangle with the eye, and it's just, okay, we're not going down that road. Not that I'm suggesting that anyone in the chat wanted to. Essentially a secret society that is used to network by the elite, carries out orgies during masked ritual gatherings and as an initiation process. Well, how's about that, people? Explains why Barbara Bush walked with a limp. Oh, that was perhaps a bit distasteful. Hedy, welcome to the chat. Yeah, great to see you. And give me something else to talk about. Good to see you this evening, Hedy.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We'll get on to matters in Gaza now. First of all, a protest by Orthodox Jews about basically how Israel are dragging Judaism's name through the mud, and Zionism in its appropriation of this ancient religion is in fact an insult to real Jews who deplore and decry the activities of Israel in Gaza and the West Bank. So this took place in London. Let's see what's happening here. These are the kind of things that the Zionist trolls don't want you to see, they don't want you to know about. I don't know how you feel, but whenever I'm, I don't want to say engaged, but whenever a troll lands in the comments of one of my posts, wherever that might be, it seems that they do so under the assumption that I don't personally know many Jewish people who speak out against the actions of Israel. To name but one matter, so well done to all those on this protest. Let's see what's happening.
Because Jews and Israel are two different things. Israel is a country and Jews is a religion, and those two things don't come together. It's not, you cannot be a pope if you don't believe in your religion, you don't believe in God. So if they don't believe in God and his laws, they cannot represent Jewish people. They can only represent Israeli society, but not Jews anywhere in Israel or all over the world.
Not a bad turnout either. Look, there's hundreds there, you'd have to say. Looks as though this footage was taken from an open-top bus.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with mixed emotions that we, the community of Jews loyal to Hashem and his Torah, have gathered here today in large numbers in prayer and protest, led by our revered Torah sages.
Well, possibly thousands now as this footage continues.
We have come here to proclaim
all along the roadside. You've got to say there, what, 4 or 5 people deep in a row along the roadside there. Very impressive turnout. This isn't one shot on a cycle on a loop. This is one continuous shot as the bus makes its way down the road. And we overheard someone on the mic there about the mixed emotions, and you can really understand that. You can certainly get a sense of that here in Manchester, which has one of the largest Jewish populations in the country, I might add. Now, also we've had the recent appalling attack at the synagogue, and whilst people in the Jewish communities of Manchester are mourning, and other locals show support with their sympathies and mourning as well. You'd switch on the TV and straight away people like Benjamin Netanyahu are trying to hijack these events and make themselves the official spokes while they dig up a bunch of Zionist bullshit or elected rabbis as well to echo those same sentiments, while the actual rabbis in local communities simply want to mourn, and they don't want to be associated with Zionism or Israel, and certainly don't feel that Netanyahu speaks for them. So you can certainly understand those mixed emotions, grief intertwined with frustration as well. I'll just replay that with the sound off while I talk about it. Just down to the footage of the huge amount of people there by the side of the road. I'm glad to see that, and again, this is something that you won't see in the mainstream media. They'll be happy to, line up grifter after grifter after shill, all these Zionists in a row. We're going to take a look at one of them actually getting roasted by an unlikely source in just a moment. Israeli spokes who regular viewers will be familiar with, as well as my indifference to, well, it's Zippy Hotavelli this time, who we're going to be taking a look at in just a moment. Very decent crowd. Yeah, quite correct there, Midi Doctors. Nice to see you as well. Very good turnout. And even though, the national demos, of which there's a huge Jewish block each time, don't make it onto the national news, despite numbering the hundreds of thousands very often. And that's the truth, that is how people in this country actually feel. And a lot of them hate all of the hyperbole over this as well. That is the conflation of anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism, when all of these statistics are thrown around. And like we always say, Zionism actually supports and is anti-Semitism in itself. Irony of ironies. Well done to all who attended. Stoke Newington as well, I can see in the chat, some distance away from Manchester, but sounds like they have a similar community. Yeah, up next, it's actually Piers Morgan. So even Piers Morgan finds it quite simple to make a fool of Zippy Hotavelli, as we're going to see here, who sprawls on a pin in trying to deny that Israel is killing children, let alone targeting them, which they are, which is a fact that Piers Morgan is going to bring up. But some time ago, even a hack such as he has managed to come around and see the truth. So she has actually left left as ambassador, I believe. Because we're delighted in that shot of her outside the residence. Good riddance, but she's still managing to hustle her way back onto our screens. That is if this is recent footage. It might be from when she still held the post, but regardless, it's worth a look. But yeah, not to make too fine a point of it, what she essentially gets to is, in her opinion, the number of child casualties is irrelevant in the discussion of the illegal occupation of Palestine. She refers to it as irrelevant. Take it away, Piers, you big sack of shit.
How many children have you killed?
Pierce, Israel is not killing children.
Israel is killing children every single day.
Pierce, this is a blood label you're putting on Israel. You know it's not true.
What? No, it's not actually. And what you're trying to do is be very weaselly with your words.
No, I'm not.
The truth is...
Well, she is a weasel. They're all weasels. Hotovelli, David Mensa.
You are killing a lot of children. You are killing a lot of children on a daily basis. That is...
They all go for the volume and the outrage, the response as well.
Indisputable. So how many children have died in the process? Why don't you know that number too?
Pierce, please ask this question to the people that can give you the answer. I don't have the answer.
Who has the answer?
Please don't ask me questions.
Who has the answer?
Please don't ask me questions. Well, when you have to resort to, please don't ask me questions. No. She's supposed to be, the current or former Israeli ambassador. She doesn't have the number for how many child casualties there are. Perhaps not even the amount of civilian casualties in total, because she might know, but she doesn't want you to know. Of course, please don't. You should be asking this instead. That old tactic as well. They'll decide which questions they're going to answer. David Mensa does the same. It's sort of a bastardised version of whataboutery, I guess. It's certainly deflection. But yeah, I don't want to talk about that. This is the question that you should be asking me, and I'll ask it to myself, and I'll answer it with this bullshit pre-prepared answer that I've got here. But just the actual line, you shouldn't be asking me, please don't ask me questions.
Who has the answer?
Please don't ask me questions.
Who has the answer?
Please don't ask me questions. It puts me in a very awkward position.
Who has the answer?
I don't have the answer. And I will tell you something.
You're the Israeli ambassador to my country. Who else should I ask? I don't understand how you can know how many you've killed, but you don't know how many civilians you've killed.
Yeah, exactly. So they can sort of try and gloat with whatever hypes up numbers about however many, air quotes, hummus they've killed. But they can't give us other statistics. And if they can't, then who can? Well, the hummus-run health ministry can, of course. Their statistics always turn out to be accurate, as it happens. But, of course, don't let Zippy Hotovelli know that. That's very detrimental to a case.
As I said again, I think that it's totally irrelevant.
Are you happy that people are going to watch you as an ambassador to your country say that it's irrelevant how many children have been killed?
It's irrelevant. So, yeah, even a hack like Piers Morgan can get Zippy Hotovelli banged to rights without much effort whatsoever. They do it to themselves. Just in the knee-jerk reaction to every question and the pantomime-esque hyperbole that comes with it. It's so embarrassing, isn't it? It's so embarrassing. These are the actual ambassadors of their country, who you normally see as quite dignified and refined and calm and collected when responding to crises. But no, immediately hot-headed, visceral, but that's Israel. That's Israel. They immediately bark back. Zippy Hotovelli, who isn't on the Zero of the Year candidacy list, but Benjamin Netanyahu is. Let's just see if he's still in the lead. Looks like he is, 57%. We can see there, however, Keith is gaining ground with 21% ahead of both Trump and Farage on 11. This poll will end at the end of the stream, of course. However, there's still a poll if you go and look at our YouTube posts. There's also the same question posted on Twitter, the same poll there as well. For anybody who's watching back later on and you want to vote on the poll, you might want to use those alternatives. The Hero of the Year poll, just a reminder, will come out tomorrow. Again, on the same platforms. And it will be an average of the 3 platforms that will be used as the final percentage score. Her name is Zippy, but she looks like Bungle. Is that that's an old kids TV show, is it? Zippy, what was the other one called? Straight in my head, but this is in the realms of quiz knowledge now. George, is it that one? It is George. Thank you, Doc. Looks like Bungle. Very good. George, Zippy and Bungle. Rainbow. Is that the... Yeah, the show, Rainbow. And nice static emoji as well. Coming with that. Appreciate the effort. MIDI Doctors, awesome. Didn't think that was going to come up on stream. JK, you felt out of place at a New Age meeting in New York. Is that NY, New York? You were drawn to a hairy guy who you thought was a fellow biker / rocker, and it turned out he was an Orthodox Jewish man. But you still got along. Well, of course, no reason why you wouldn't. Perhaps an easy mistake to make at such a gathering. Was that recently? That's your era, is it? Guitar guy, Rainbow. Is it an 80s? Is it an 80s thing? Solidarity across all generations, of course. I'm just seeing if I've got anything else bookmarked to do with that topic. No, I think we're going to go ahead and, yeah, we'll have the second comedy clip. Festive themed. But it's Rothschild's and another one of his J.D. Vance ones, which I do quite like. Regular viewers will know. J.D. Vance, who is not of this world, but of the Galactic Mining Consortium. Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's from Thatcher's era. Yeah. Thatcher's Bloody Britain. What do you think about the Margaret Thatcher era, Rick?
Pathetic!
Okay, let's get this over and done with.
No, it's not that one, it's the other one. We've already had that one. Okay, Rothschild's and J.D. Vance parody.
Hello. I'm Vice President and elf on a shelf but venomous. J.D. on Dasher, on Dancer, on Vancer. I would like to tell you what I want for Christmas now.
Oh, good God, you really are the Vice President. What the hell is this?
I have captured you.
What?
I saw you at Macy's, but you were surrounded by all of those human larvae. Larvae? Children. I said children. I know what children are, as I have genetic possession over at least 2 of them, if not more.
Can you please tell me why I'm here?
You were busy, so this seemed like the most efficient way to get an audience with you, Santa Claus.
Okay, you have made a huge mistake.
I have been such an okay good boy this year.
Objectively, that's not true. I mean, you kidnapped me. Also, I'm not actually Santa Claus.
See? Don't worry, Santa. I know how beards work.
Okay, so you know I'm not the real Santa Claus.
How long has your sleigh worked here?
No, I drive a Hyundai Sonata. A used Hyundai Sonata.
A sonata is a kind of music song, is it not?
I think so.
Okay, good. For Christmas, I would like a cool song like the one my friend Charlie Kirk got.
But you mean like the AI-generated one?
I am J.D. Vance, that is the name I have.
Please stop that.
Eric Kirk could be my wife if Usha wasn't here.
What was that last bit?
Nothing. Can I give you my wish list now?
Why is it so redacted?
Oh, wrong list. This is the real one, Santa.
Look, man, I've already told you I'm not... Oh my God, what is this list?
Presents.
The fuck kind of presents are these? A dating app specifically for furniture. Your own IKEA franchise, but no one else is allowed inside. Taste buds? For Erica Kirk to start an OnlyFans. A trip for you and your wife, Usha Vance, to the slipperiest part of the Grand Canyon. Eczema medication. Do you even have eczema?
I do not, but tomorrow is a new day.
Mr. Vance, I'm pretty sure I couldn't get you any of these even if I was the real Santa Claus.
The only gift necessary this holiday season is the gift of programmed compliance. The Galactic Mining Consortium believes that peace on Earth will only truly be achieved once every piece of the Earth is mined and sold for profit on a galactic scale. Desire will be weeded out, and goodwill towards man will be replaced with goodwill towards the GMC. I have one more request for you.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, what is it?
Will you get me Donald Trump's endorsement for me to run for president in 2028?
Oh, buddy.
Or maybe just a letter from President Trump where he says he's proud of me?
Look, Mr. Vice President, his brain is dying. I don't even think he's emotionally capable of expressing anything even close to that. Hey, you know what? I just remembered something. The president actually did speak to me yesterday. He did? Yep. He sure did, and he told me to tell you that he's just so proud of you. He is? Absolutely, he is. As much as his own son. Oh, I can pretty much guarantee that Donald Trump cares about you as much as he cares about his own sons. Thank you for telling me that. Can I go home now, please? Okay, good.
My name's J.D. Vance, that's the name I have. If you say J.D. followed by Vance, then you have said my name. It isn't Jeff or Dave or Hamill or a knave, I have it listed. The only name that is my name is the name that I said earlier, J.D. Vance.
A leather condom. A gun that makes poor people think you're one of them. Peter Thiel's happiness? A ghostwriter that understands the assignment. A car that can drive faster than Usha can run. Sydney Sweeney's workout schedule and a telescope. A slip and slide with Diddy's baby oil. The new Pope's home address? A sentient love seat that chooses not to talk. A baseball bat for when RFK Jr. finally turns. Replace all of Ohio with a paintball arena. That one's actually not bad. And this one just says pickles ? What could that possibly even mean?
Excellent, Rothschilds. There's a link in the description of the stream. I do highly recommend you go and subscribe, check out some of the other content as well. That list. Its own branch of IKEA that nobody else is allowed in. Oh look, it's the couch fucker. Most hilarious indeed.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Another shout out to all the members on the channel. Of course, helping to bring you these streams and other content. Thank you very much for all of your contributions. And again, thanks for those generous donations on the last stream. The tribute stream for friend of the channel and one of your fellow subscribers, personal friend of mine, Vicky Attenborough as well. Now up to 164, on the way to 250. Thank you very much for all of your contributions. As I mentioned earlier on stream, personally passed on those donations yesterday. Thanks once again. You are very good people. Yeah, it does mean a lot to us here at My Left Eye, as well as all of your super chats and super thanks as well. There's also a Buy Me a Coffee page if you'd like to contribute in another way, if you don't have the means to contribute via YouTube. Check out the description in the check out the link in the description, I should say. Thank you, good people.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
JK, is Vance still pulling his favourite to become next president? What, maybe as early as next year, which is just a few days away. Not to say he's going to be president in a few days. Well, that just goes to show the state of affairs. Alright, let's dive into the Fondue Lounge for a second portion. Thank you very much to Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics. You can't deny it, people. You know it's one of your favourite earworms. Keys Fondue Lounge. This scene brought to us by the Agitator as well. Another shout out to the Agitator. Agitate for change. The same goes for the Yvette Cooper test card at the beginning of Sunday streams as well. And he's a great guy. Shout out this Socialist Sunday to the Agitator. We're getting towards the end of proceedings on the channel. I will set up a redirect, aka a raid. And whilst I tell you what's coming up next week, we've got the Brews at 10, of course, will return, including the My Left Eye Awards, the very first My Left Eye Awards, which you've all been voting on. Last reminder for anybody who's yet to vote, I'll leave that open right to the end. So the other two votes will be open until the awards themselves begin. Just so you know that as well. Or roughly. The day of the awards. Yeah, and keep an eye out for the Hero of the Year category, which is going to be around tomorrow on social media. And then later on a stream. Well, we've got a decent selection here actually, but I think we'll go with Kevin Logan. Friend of the channel, Kevin Logan, who's recently raided into us on the channel as well. Do subscribe when you get there. Hit thumbs up on that stream and I'll be joining you there at the end, so stick around. Don't go anywhere, people. That's locked in. Yeah, there are going to be a few more categories as well on the awards. But they are the two that are voted for by viewers. Zero of the Year and Hero of the Year. A bit of a teaser as well, I guess. I'll treat you to one of those while you're on live. One of the other categories is going to be Best Alternative Story, which I'm looking forward to revealing as well, as we will then later on take a look back across the whole year. I think I might have a video coming up for that one, or a stream. Last few moments now to vote if you haven't done so already, people. I will have to bring things to a close. But if you do miss out on this poll, just a reminder, it's still open on YouTube in posts. That's our social media posts, as it were, on YouTube. As well as on Twitter. I'd prefer, if you would, please vote on the Twitter poll, because I think it's only had 1 or 2 votes since it was released. We've had plenty of votes on the YouTube post, though. Thank you very much for those. Any more self-promotion to do before I close the poll? Oh yes, of course, check out the video about the Epstein files that came out earlier today as well, please, good people. Alright, I will therefore hereby declare the poll on this stream closed, and it's a very clear winner, very clear result. I do have to mark all of these down though, because of course, despite not winning, the scores will contribute to others on the poll. But with 57%, Benjamin Netanyahu is Sunday livestream viewers 0 of the year 2025. So we've got Benjamin Netanyahu 57. We've got Keir Starmer on 21. We've got both Donald Trump and Farage on 11% there. Okay. Duly noted. Duly noted. I hereby announce the poll is closed. Don't have a gavel, but courts in the UK don't use them. That's often misunderstood. Alright, people. Yeah, that's it from me. Please do join us over on Kevin Logan's live stream. But if you're watching this back later or whatever you're doing with the rest of your evening, take care. Happy Socialist Sunday, everybody. Power to the people. Free Palestine, Lebanon, Yemen and Sudan. And my left, I'll be seeing you soon. Good night, everybody.
Socialists